It's time to trick your opponents. It's time to trick your friends. I'm going to show you the best trick plays in Madden. Now, these are sprinkled throughout some of the playbooks in the game. They're hard to find. A lot of people don't talk about them, but a lot of people are always asking about them. Where are the trick plays? I need something up my sleeve that I can pull out in a crucial moment of the game. I'm about to show you all those right now. And if you want to stay up to date on all the best Madden tips all year long, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. We're going to start with a brand new play out of the single back bunch tight end. The play is the wide receiver power fake jet. Up on the screen are all the playbooks where you can find this play. This is a really tricky one. It kind of confuses the eyes. Is it a jet sweep? No. It's getting handed off to the second wide receiver who comes into motion a little bit later. You definitely want to put your fastest guy in this spot so that you can get around the defense and really pick up some big yards. And sometimes you have to be patient on this. You don't always want to mash the turbo button as soon as you get it. You kind of want to let the block set up sometimes, unless you just see a huge opening. You see right there how I kind of slowed down a little bit and then I took off down the outside. This is a really powerful play, and it's really confusing the way it sets up because you think the first guy is getting the ball, but it actually goes to the second wide receiver. And then you have the zone fake jet and the PA jet sweep that play off of this same motion. So now we can really trick our opponents and run the ball to the left with our halfback, and we can also throw the PA play in here, which is actually a pretty good one. You'll notice multiple people open on this play, the motion guy, the A receiver, and then even against other defenses you would have some other receivers open. Now we're going to look at the single back bunch formation. The play we're going to be looking at is the pitch wide receiver reverse. Again, up on the screen, all of the playbooks where you can find this play. This is another tricky one. You think the halfback's getting it, but no, it's actually going to the wide receiver. And the good thing about this is that this formation has really good passing plays in it, and it has a good halfback pitch, which is one of the better runs in the game. So people are going to assume you're using the halfback pitch, but actually you're pitching it to a fast wide receiver who you'll plug into that spot. DK Metcalf, I believe, is 95 speed, so he works great, and you can see you can get huge gains down the sideline. But this is what I want to show you. It plays perfectly off of this halfback pitch, which is one of the better toss plays in the game every year. So if you combine these two together with the pass plays in this formation as well, you can really trick opponents. Of course, we got to talk about the Philly special, but not just the Philly special, the fake Philly as well. But the thing with this play is it's a little more glitchy than people think. People think it's just kind of a one and done trick play that your opponents are going to immediately know you're doing because it's a very specific formation with a very specific motion. They know it's the Philly special, but I'm going to show you why this play is good. So of course, you've got some decent routes you can hit. You have a good crossing route. You have a good route leaking out into the flat as well. But what else makes this play really good is that you can actually run with the QB very easily as well. But I want to just show you how easy it is to make the throw. Even with the QB, I feel like they get a throwing boost because this is a special trick play, so they have good accuracy. But look how you can take off with the receiver. And the thing is, the defense doesn't pay mind to you a lot. If you notice the defense, you see how he's just shuffling right there and not actually paying attention to me, and then we go for a touchdown? That happens against a lot of defenses. It's like the defense doesn't completely know how to react. Again, here you can always dump it down into the flat too for a quick pass if you see it open, but the defense just doesn't react very well to this. A lot of times it'll let you run, but if the defense does react well and pays attention to you as the QB, then you can actually throw it and it leaves wide open throwing lanes. Now, the better part about this is actually mixing in the fake Philly where you keep it with the running back, because this is never expected when you run this formation. They always expect you to do the regular Philly special, and let's say you pulled out the Philly special one time, they're going to commit heavy to that side of the field, and then you can take off for easy gains with your running back like this and kind of trick them twice. Next, we're going to look at the Wildcat Gator out of the Jaguars playbook. This, I think, was put in because they had Tim Tebow on the roster, and this is one of the best Wildcat formations in the game. It has a ton of plays, and we're going to break them down. You have the QB blast, which is really tough to stop. This is an amazing type of run to go to if you need a yard or two, because even if they run commit, even if they commit heavy to this play, you can see you can really gash defenses with it. But even if you're not gashing them, it's really easy to pick up 1 to 2 yards. It's just super hard for the defense to react to it in time. Then you've got jet sweeps where you can hand it off to your running back and you get some decent blocking on this. As you can see, it can spring you down the sideline for a nice gain. Then you can even start mixing in the passes with this. The passes aren't really that great, but it's just the fact that the run is so good out of the Wildcat that sometimes people will run commit or just play the run super heavy, and you have that same motion with a lot of the plays, so they'll think you're running it and you can actually sneak a pass in there and catch them with a big play if they are run committing because they expect the run. But here's the other run that's really good, the QB power that has the auto motion. This one is probably better than the blast because you actually have pulling blockers and because it has that auto motion, which is the same as some of the other plays, so it really makes the defense completely unsure about what play play you could be running. This Wildcat formation is just loaded with a ton of fun stuff. It's not something you can just run as an entire scheme, but you can definitely use this against certain people that don't know what to do and pick up easy yards. Now we're going to look at the Wildcat slot flex in the Titans playbook. This one doesn't have any passing plays, but it's a slightly different Wildcat. I think this one's technically better because of how the alignment is set up, and the QB power out of this is super hard to stop, especially with a guy like King Henry. Somebody was actually running this on me the other day, and I was having trouble stopping it. When he needed a yard or two, it was extremely hard to stop this for no gain or negative yards, especially, like I said, with a guy that's big like Derrick Henry or just any good running back in the game. If you need 1 to 2 yards, you're typically going to get it, but as you can see, you can break some big runs with this as well because you have pulling guards on the play that really lead the way for you, and you can mix in the jet sweep out of this. It's not really the greatest in the world, but it keeps them honest. Now we're going to look at the I-Form Pro in the Patriots playbook, and the play we're going to look at is the Halfback Pass. This can only be found in this playbook, and this is another glitchy one. Much like the Philly special, you can take off and run here with the running back this time instead of a wide receiver, and the defense doesn't react to him that well. Every once in a while, they will react well to him, but when that happens, usually it's leaving one of those passing lanes open, and if you're going against a user, he's going to usually try to attack down on you as well, but if he doesn't, you can take off for easy gains because the defense is very delayed in reacting. But as you can see, when the defense does focus on you, usually they will give up one of these 2 passing routes, either the streak or the crossing route. You see how they come down to focus on you, then you can dump it down. Next, we're going to look at the Split Close Pro. The play is the shovel option. Up on the screen are all the playbooks that have this play. Now, there's other shovel options in the game as well, but I think out of this formation, it's the best with the 2 back look. It's the toughest to defend. You can pitch it to the running back on the right like we just did there. We're going to do that once again here. You can keep it with the QB if the opportunity presents itself, or you can even shovel it forward to the running back that's on the left there. And don't worry if somehow shoveling it forward, it doesn't get completed. It counts as an incomplete pass and not a fumble because you are throwing the ball forward. But this is really, really tough to defend, and this formation has good pass plays as well, so it makes it even better. Now we got to look at the special teams trick plays because these are some of the most glitchy in the game, and these can absolutely win you games. Out of the fake field goal, you've got passes and you've got design runs, but the design passes are what we want to focus on. This is the most popular option with both of the receivers leaking out here. Throwing it to the tight end in the flat is usually your best option. You can throw it to the offensive lineman, but it takes a longer time to develop, and it's a lineman, so he could potentially drop the ball. But the thing with these type of plays is people like to go for the all-out field goal block, and they usually are not expecting it, but this is what I love about this play. I like taking off with the QB, especially if you have a fast QB here. This is super tough to defend. Much like some of the other plays we talked about, the defense just does not seem to focus on the guy with the ball because they think that he's supposed to be passing it. So that is really glitchy. Then you can also do this pass here where it gets flipped to the kicker, and the kicker really dials this up. He really never throws an inaccurate pass. I think they get like a throwing boost because it's a known trick play, so the game allows them to complete the pass. Then you've got the fake punts. Now you have passes in here, but I like to actually stick with the runs in this one. You got the sweep and the off tackle. I find that the sweep works better. It's more consistent, but keep in mind these type of plays, especially out of the special teams, you're not running these multiple times a game. You're picking one of them at one point in the game where you need 1 or 2 yards. If you get big yards like this and score a touchdown, that's great, but you're really trying to pull it out where you need a crucial first down that maybe can seal the game or put you in position to go score. You don't want to run these too much. You want to pull it out at just the right time. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing. If you don't want to miss out on any of the future Madden tips, I'll see you next time.